Testing, 1, 2. Why is my light not working? What is going on? Are we not plugged in? Oh yeah, we're not plugged in. That'll be why. Beep. There's one light. And another light. Okay, so I started making, there's nobody here. Oh, got one like. How we got one like? Hello. So I started making the patterns for the commission I'm working on, and then popped a dice out because I needed masking tape and I wanted a different color. Hi, Queen Mayasa, sorry. Hello. I don't think I'm going to be on long today because, hi, Camilla. I don't think I'm going to be on long today. My sleeping pattern is a complete mess, but I felt like I should be productive. Scrunchy. Get a little bit of ASMR. Open. Okay, so I have like a billion patterns I want to make. I made obviously I made the pattern for this dress. I made the dress, and this was just a mock-up, and then I put it on. I wanted to do a Claudine, but I've got different plans for her now. But this looks so good on Frankie that I think I'm gonna do a Frankie custom with this dress. It's good, guys. Good, Queen Mayasa. How about you? But yeah, I wanted to make this pattern available on like online. So at some point I am going to figure out Illustrator. I have a Frankie doll. Where is she? Oh no. Okay, we're going to borrow Cleo. Oh yes, pink and green. Yeah, it looks so pretty. I was going to do it in white because we got like the masks that the government gave us, but there's been like loads of what pattern am I making? Trousers. Yeah, there was like loads of controversy about it because people were finding bugs and apparently they were contaminated with poop. So it's not something that I wanted to put near my face. No thanks. But yeah, then it looked so cute in the pink. So to make patterns, I tend to like masking tape as little as possible just because it's easier that way. And then do the rest with like measurements. My bird is messaging me. Okay. So this is like the biggest part of the thigh. So I'm going to go around there because then I know she'll be able to get the rest of her leg through it. I'm probably going to, the customer I'm making this pattern for, I'm probably going to work on it on live stream, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I thought it'd be fun like for people who are watching to like guess or just watch without knowing. I thought that'd be cool. Okay, I always tend to do hands in the way. I always tend to do patterns to the waist. If you want to adjust them later, it's not difficult. Hi, Alexandra. I'm good. How are you? Where is everybody today? I'm streaming maybe a little bit later than usual, so maybe some people from America. Don't need that. I only ever make half of the pattern because it can be doubled later. I got green and pink to do the patterns with as well, but I've got warm green and pink. What's everybody been up to today, or what are your plans today? I always cut a very thin piece to do like the groin area. Okay, so she's taped half. I'm just going to put a little bit more on her butt. I'm currently, oh no, I'm sorry, Camilla. I hope you're okay. So this was perfect because I sit in bed trying to do some stuff. It's so hard when you're sick and you want to be productive, but just not got the energy. I hope you're okay. I wish I could keep, I'm probably, I don't know how long I'm going to keep saying I'm not going to be on long. So I'm just going to draw the center line with a graphite pencil. You can use a biro if you want, just anything that will show up on your masking tape. And the waistline. And then the two seam lines. So there's two different patterns I want to make from this. So I am going to draw that line down this side actually. I want to, yeah, I want a pair of leggings for this Clio. And I want a pair of jeans for another doll. Where are my tiny scissors? Should be able to slide off, to be fair. Hi, Lucy, how you doing? I did the hair weft at last. Awesome, Pamela. That's really productive. It's so frustrating being sick. Yeah, it really is. Okay. So I'm going to cut along those lines now. So this is, again, a bit of a concentrated one. I've been all right. What about you? Yeah, good, thank you. I don't think I've been doing much. Can't remember. That random piece, just tape it back down. And cut down the side seam. So would you actually sell these patterns like some other creators do, or are these just for your dolls? I really do want to sell them, but I need to learn how to use Illustrator. And to be fair, I think if I just bought a ruler, it might be possible. So I need to work on it. So that's the back. Always write on your patterns as soon as you can, because you will forget what you're doing. So this is back outside seam, and this is front, and this is the inside seam. Okay, so you can see that this won't lay flat, and because this is a pattern for a 3D doll, and this is where her high point of her bum is. So to get it to lay flat, I'm just going to cut from the top down. You can put your dart in anywhere, to be fair, but it will affect the fit and the look of the garment, the piece of clothing. Excuse me, I've still got this horrible cough. It's not that horrible, it's just annoying. So I usually do it, this is the waistband here. I usually do it from the waistband down. And then to get this to lay flat, I'm just going to cut into. into there. Why is this confusing me so much? As soon as you do it on live stream, you can't do anything again. Turn a camera on and everything is impossible. Okay. And then because my desk is covered in paper, I'm just going to draw it straight on my desk. I bought a new pencil sharpener, but it's such a cheapo one. I don't think it's going to be any better than the last one. And my Derwent ink tents are supposed to arrive today, and they didn't, which really worries me because Japan, like post in Japan, is so like it's always on time. I like when the situation first started happening. One of my lights is flickering. That's really annoying. When the bad situation first happened, I missed a delivery, and you call up the driver and they'll pop back to you, and he didn't, and I was like, oh my god, is he okay? Should I call? Is he hurt? I was like that never happens. It was so bizarre. He was fine. I think it was just very, very, very busy, and he came back the next day, but that never happens. Ooh. Very concentrating. Okay, so these are the darts. I have a piece of a ruler. I don't have a whole ruler, just a piece, but this is enough. So just draw to connect. With like selling patterns, because I really do want to do it, but I do think it, like I want you to be able to create patterns as well. So this is why I've done them. I'm doing the, oh my gosh, I can't words today. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. Why I'm doing the stream. So I know that this is her waist. So to find the length, I'm just going to layer next to it, and that'll do. And a longer ruler would really help, but actually look at that, it's just enough ruler. I don't know what happened to my ruler. I probably threw it away. I'm obviously, you can see I'm not, oh look, I'm out of frame. I'm not very tidy, and every now and again I'll just have like a rage clean and throw everything away, including important stuff. Okay, so that is a trouser pattern. Ta-da! This has got no seam allowance on it at all. So when you're sewing it, you need to sew directly on this line. And to make that, for hand sewing, to make that possible, I always add 5mm. If you're machine sewing, this one you can leave a bit longer and hem later, to be fair. The trousers I'm going to make for her are actually going to be a bit shorter, so I'm not going to add any more, they're going to be taken up anyway. Ooh, I'm excited about this project, which is a secret for now, at least. Got to keep you coming back for more. So that is the back, isn't it? Yes, it is, Lee. We're struggling today. No, why? So you need to add a little bit more for closure, and depending whether you want it to close on the back or the front, you add your extra there. I think I want mine to close in the front, so I'm gonna because these will be the jeans. We're gonna give them 2 centimeters, I think. That looks about right. And then just add another I need it on both? Is this the front or the back? That's the... Eh? Well, this was a bad idea doing this while I'm confusing myself. Okay, that's the front inseam. So on that one, okay, not on this one, that's the back. Okay, done. Okay, so for leggings, so I want this to be one piece again. I'm going to use white masking tape because I have two colors. So why not? And I bought a background color that's different so that it'll all stand out. And cut the corner off so I was using it for something. Because I was in Daiso and it's just, oh, I love Daiso. There was a like pop-up sweets shop in the mall, and they have like the kids candy, and I bought some to include with a couple of commissions, and I shouldn't have bought that much, to be fair, but I thought it was a nice thing to add. So I'm going to line these up. I know that was, focus please. My camera and my brain are both having the same issues. Come on, come on, baby. There we go. This piece of tape was once one piece of tape, so I can tape right there, and that's fine. So I get the masking tape from Daiso as well, and like I bought the white to make feathers because I'm planning on making these wings, but I keep going back and forth of whether I want like bat wings, or I should have done the leggings first. This is so silly. I wouldn't need to tape it back up. Bat wings or swan wings, because I think I think both would suit, to be honest. No, it's so difficult. Indecisive. So I was asked a couple of times to explain about working with stretch because it is a little bit different. And working on stretch in human size. Oh my gosh. Wake up, Lee. Where are you? And human size is different as well. Only if you want it skin tight, like not t-shirt size, t-shirt size. Like if you want it oversized, like how a t-shirt would fit, then you would sew it the same as with what woven as with non-stretch. Okay, so I've put that bump back in, and because there's stretch, we don't come here. We don't need those darts. The stretch fabric will take care of that for us. Just gonna try and squish it out like as best as I can, but it doesn't hugely matter. And I'm gonna add a tiny bit here because this, I don't know if you can see it. There's I'm gonna draw it in and then I'll show you up closer. Where the crotch point is, I'm adding a tiny bit because of because I can't get it flat. So basically I've taken the volume out here mentally and then just added a little bit. Come here. Fine, I'll come to you. So the masking tape was to there, but I've added a tiny bit. I'm gonna add a tiny bit here as well. Like on dolls, it doesn't matter as much as on human clothes, because on human clothes you've got to be comfortable as well, right? And you've got to be able to move. But with a doll, she doesn't need to be comfortable. It's all about fashion. Okay, ankle. Should really find the midpoint there. draw it down from the midpoint. Not very tutty today. Like, I never understood how useful set squares were until I started making doll clothes patterns. So it, I was going to say I'm going to measure here, but it doesn't matter because this is for a stretch. Sorry, I'm eating ice cream. What flavor have you got? Jealous. Ice cream. I think I had ice cream recently. Obviously not enough. Okay, so this is the circumference of her foot, which I'm then going to fold in half and then mark on here. Oh, now I want ice cream. This is surprisingly a perfect doll size ruler. Okay, so this is our leggings pattern, and with stretch you actually want to make the piece of, with stretch, if you want it skin tight, oh, it's that really weird, you want to make it smaller than the doll because then it'll stretch out to fit, right? So usually I'd add 5mm, but when I draw a stretch pattern, I add less. I add 2 or 3mm, but sew it still with a 5mm allowance. So this is the line I would cut, and this is the line I would sew. But I think I'm going to try sewing these on my sewing machine. Not sure. We're going to make a couple of patterns. So because I'm making a couple of patterns, we're going to cut this one out on the line. I know that this one will fit perfectly, but there's no seam allowance on it. I think you then call this a block, a sloper. I can't remember. I took a an online pattern making course, and it was really difficult, but very. This isn't what I'm doing. Isn't proper like 2D pattern making anyway, because what I do on the doll is basically draping, so it's way easier than making patterns for human clothes. But I can't remember like the names. I remember the practical stuff, like that was super helpful, and I think because I've done it over and over, I'll probably keep the information as well, which is awesome. But I don't remember the technical terms very well. Chocolate and vanilla. Oh, that is it. I did have ice cream yesterday, didn't I? I've had ice cream recently. I went and got posh ice cream, and I had Rocky Roads, and I had blueberry panna cotta and Sika summer, they call it. So watermelon summer, and the watermelon summer one was so good. And I think I had that when I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure it's a sorbet, and then it's got like fondant or chocolate or both, or Rice Krispie or something, like candies in it, so they are supposed to look like the pips, and it just like totally calls to my inner child. So here I'm adding about 3mm. What we got? 2.5mm. That's precise. So precisely 2.5mm. Just eyeball it, it doesn't matter, here, because these seams are going to stretch, but this seam is not going to stretch this way, so I'm going to just do 5mm. This way we're not going to stretch, this way we are going to stretch. Hi Katie. Sorry, I didn't realize that was you. I'm not here today. What's going on? I keep getting, I think I'm like because I had to come off those meds. I think my body's not quite used to it yet, so I wanted to not take sleeping pills and just like sleep normally, but that meant I was up until like 8 a.m. and then slept up like until 4, which I feel like that's a normal amount of sleep, but it's kind of hitting me now a little bit. So with a sewing machine and with stretch, so this one's going to be for hand sewing. Always write on your pattern pieces, and this is Big Sister, and it's on the waist, leggings. If you wanted to adapt it, like this is where this piece goes, you can draw it on, or it is easier to draw where you want it to sit when it's on her. So if you want them there, then you draw the waistline on and cut it. So yeah, stretch fabric with a sewing machine is not as easy as woven. I had, there they are. Okay, so I hope this is helpful, but I love tins of anything. I have no idea where this came from. I've not, definitely Asia, but it's before 2017. Oh, that makes me happy. Anyway, I don't know. I like that I acquire them. So sewing machine feet, because you can't have a biscuit tin without sewing stuff in it. So I don't have a regular foot in here, it's on my machine, but like, so if this is the bits that go on your machine for woven, this is called a walking foot. So it looks really weird, eh? But so usually as far as I know, underneath on the plate part of the, I'm gonna, okay, so now we're going to have a really detailed lesson about sewing machines. Can you see in here a bit? Okay, so this whole foot comes off. I really hope this is useful advice. It was to me anyway. So this is what this is called the feed dogs, and this is what pushes the fabric through the under the foot. And I think for sticky fabrics or for like stretch fabrics, sometimes they get caught, and that can mean that they stretch as you're sewing, and it can bunch or whatever. So you can get it like a tefl foot, like a tefl frying pan, or use the walking foot. And so I'm not sure if you can see, but these feed dogs, they're similar on here. So as you're sewing, this like this bit here literally walks back and forward to like pull the fabric through on the top and bottom. And this one's actually a quilting foot. It's not a proper walking. Well, they're both the same difference. This one's for quilting. My buddy gave it to me, and they're like 20 bucks, which is totally worth it, I think, for such a useful bit. Okay, I've got to put this. This is like the most awkward angle to be doing this at. What am I doing? I need to put this on, otherwise I will lose it. It's definitely a good idea to have a collection of feet if you have a sewing machine. And this machine is just a beginner level sewing machine. I saw there's a person on a doll Facebook group who I feel feelings about. some people will know who I mean. And they were talking about like buying a really fancy sewing machine, and it's like, you don't need it. You need it to be able to go straight forward, backward, and maybe have a zigzag stitch. So this will basically get eaten if I put it through the machine with this much seam allowance. So I'm going to draw the size that I want it to be. I'm going to try and keep that in the same place. And then add a whole centimetre of seam allowance to that. Come here, ruler. Oh, so who was it? It was Leafy, wasn't it? There's this South African like liqueur called amarula, and that, like, when we went to South Africa, we'd always have amarula on ice cream. It's so good. It literally tastes like Neapolitan ice cream. So nice. So to get your like to keep your lines accurate, you can put like a piece of tape on. Come here, sewing machine. So like on the plate here, there's like, this already says 1, so that's 1 inch if the needle's set in the center position, I think. Maybe on the left hand position, but you can like put a piece of tape, and then when you've got your fabric coming up to that tape line, you know that you're staying true to where your stitch lines should be. Oh my gosh, my brain feels like it's doing somersaults. Why am I doing something like that needs brain power when my brain's not working? I have been productive today, but I felt really unproductive. I was like, I'll hop on live stream and do some meow back at you. That's way more than a centimetre. Hop on live stream and do something productive. I was looking at Patreon today. I was thinking about starting a Patreon. So I was trying to figure out what I want to do in terms of rewards. That are still like, they're not like a huge amount of extra work for me, but they're still like a good little perk. And I think what I'm going to do is like a basic tier of $2, which is just a thank you, I love you, and maybe a Discord. I don't know about a Discord. I'm not great in group chats. And then $5 is early access. And then in the future, and this is something that I super want to do, I want to do like a $10 tier, and then in the second month send an enamel pin, because I feel like enamel pins are so cool. Hey, so hi Angie. So Camilla, there's a good job that I'm recording this. You can go back and watch it all. Hey. So the waist I'm still gonna hand sew, so that's gonna get a 5mm. Yes, this is a lot of information in one video. Sorry, y'all. So here we've got 1 centimeter because so it can go under the sewing machine, but here we've got 5mm to hand sew. And so this is sewing machine, leggings. What else did I need to make a pattern for? I wanted to show how to make skirt patterns as well, because I need to do an underskirt for Katie's doll. Yeah, so I designed, I've had an idea for the pin for a while, and then I designed the pin, and then I had an idea for another pin that I could potentially do in the future. Like I want to have one pin that is totally Patreon exclusive, because I think that'd be really cool. And it's like, come back, come back. Ah, I don't like it, huh? It's just in my channel colors, and I think like my channel colors are quite universally liked. Yeah, Camilla, you can watch it again. I was thinking I should probably myself go watch through it, and come on, focus on Cleo. She's beautiful. She's like, no, paparazzi, don't look at me. Why? What? Why? Maybe because I moved the lamp. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I feel like my channel colors, a lot of people like those colors and like them together, so it shouldn't be like super dolly mixtures, but if you know it's dolly mixtures, you're like, dolly mixtures. Okay, so you don't really need to do this, but I think it can, I don't know, you don't super need to do it, but it does give a good waistband. So again, I'm gonna just actually, we're going to do a pencil cut skirt first, but a pencil skirt, she's not going to be able to move. But I think with art dolls, like, you're not necessarily making them so they can move. Okay. I'm going to use white, actually. Oh, they, in Daiso, my favourite shop, Daiso. Shut up, if you like Daiso so much, why don't you marry it? I would. So Daiso had these masking tape dispensers, and like trying to fight with that one, I kind of actually wish I had bought it now, but they had a black cat one, but they were out of stock. They had a black cat and a chipmunk. They only had the chipmunk. I wanted a black cat one like Sadie. Spock smacked me again yesterday. I came to my desk to do some video editing to show my friend how to use Filmora, and yeah, Spock came up, tried to sit on my laptop because cats, and then I had to pull him off a little bit, and every time I tried to touch the desk, he smacked me. So I guess we found out Spock's trigger for his abusive behavior. They all had tuna today, and Spock likes to sit on top of the turtle tank. That's his spot, and yeah, he was just looking off into the distance, dreaming about tuna. And he yelled at me when the tuna was done. He needed more tuna. To be fair, they only had like 1 tin between the 3 of them. I feel like that is a tiny little bit, not quite enough. I remember to bring a drink with me for this stream as well. I'm learning. Okay, so I've created the shape that I want the skirt to be. She's not going to be able to move at all with it this tight, but we can manipulate the pattern. I'm going to draw the waist on. So a tip I learned from Delightful, if you want it to be like a hipster skirt, like I said before, draw your waistline where you want it, but then once you've sewn it together, you're going to have to put a ribbon like between her legs to hold it down, because otherwise it's just going to want to ride up. Very useful tip, thanks Delightful. I don't know where you figured that one out. So I'm just drawing the midline of the skirt. Oops, we're not going to do hipsters. I'm going to do up to her waist, just because I always have the waist covered. The leggings that I just draft, is this Cleo or Nephra? I can't tell the difference. This is Cleo, isn't it? The leggings that I drafted for her, she's going to have a top underneath them, so the waistline will be visible. So I want the high waist. for that. But I mean, if you wanted hipster, you could totally do it. You don't need to do the ribbon with the trousers because the bit that goes between her legs in the trousers will hold it. This that I've drawn here, we're going to cut it off later and use it as a waistband, but we can talk about slash and spread as well, actually. So I bought a book called So Many Dresses, as in like SEW, So Many Dresses, and that really helped me with learning about pattern manipulation and how to no, it's fine. Pattern manipulation, like how to put darts in and how to change the shape of a skirt as well. This is a really, really good book. I've not actually made any of the dresses out of it, but the stuff that I learned was really, really well. Have I made the dresses? I guess I've made them on doll scale. I moved my bin. I had a bin there. I've moved it and I keep trying to chuck stuff in it. So the high point of our butt is here. We need to cut down to that again. And because we've done this in 2 halves, we need to add more to be able to get it flat. So I think we're going to put another dart here. And then we have one there. Just going to draw these with dots and then connect them up after, actually, because that's a lot easier. We're on straight lines together, should be. Okay. Okay. This might look a bit crazy. I know that all of these are V's. Woo! Which means they're darts. I don't know if this is kind of maths adjacent. It's quite geometry-like. I always liked maths. I had an amazing math. Well, I liked it until I changed teacher. I had an amazing maths teacher. She just had this incredible way of explaining, and she was very, very kind. Funny, very funny as well. Dry sense of humor. But yeah, I think maths. Why weren't that drawing that weird? Okay. Skirt pattern. This is a pencil skirt. This one I would cut on the fold. So when we add our seam allowance, no seam allowance here. So like I talked about yesterday, when you cut this piece, you fold the fabric in half and then the folded edge goes here, so that when you open it out, it's one piece. And then you just have to sew as much of the back as you want. There'll need to be a closure here, and if you wanted, like, obviously a fashionable thing in a pencil skirt is like a slit up the back, so you maybe want to add more to be able to hem that over if you wanted to keep that open. I'm drawing, so sorry I can't chat too much. What are you drawing, Camilla? I said we were going to use the top of that. We can't now. Well, we could. I just can't be bothered to tape it back together. We could draft a like a big. What do I want? What's it called? A big thing, like bottom half of the skirt, quite easily to attach to this if you wanted. So you could do like circle skirts to make it like kind of a flamenco's dress, which you just need to do a little bit of maths with. So find the diameter of the circle. Yeah. So you take the circumference here, wherever you're going to do it. At the top, I'm going to give her actually is going to have, is it going to have a circle? A little bit. Circle top here. An elf girl, well, kind of, that is, looks like dobbies. Cute. Hi, Holly. Hello all. Thank you. It's not my usual process. I'm just doing a bit of pattern making to feel like I'm getting some stuff done. Even though I know I never feel productive. Like, this is one of the one of the things that I really struggle with. I never feel like I've done enough. Even though I did loads today, it just doesn't feel like I've done a lot. So if you did like literally a circle skirt, this type, the weight isn't great to pull it down, but it would look somewhat flamenco. But you could do like an offset one like this, and then it would kind of be a bit fishtail. I think that would look pretty cool. And then if you did two, one being like a big radius, one being like this, then it would be so full on the back. Hi Laura. Yeah, I am pretty hard on myself. Would give a lot of volume in the back, and I think that would be quite a lot of fun to do. So that's a pencil skirt. Then we're going to do so this is the pattern that I actually need. We're going to do just a little kind of A-line skirt, I guess. I was going to do a bigger one, but because the bigger one, like a more dramatic gathered one, but I don't think the dress needs it. Lots of junk in the trunk. Love volume. Love volume? Look, what? My brain's not working today, fake British girl. My mum sent me some squash, and it's just absolute heaven. So like a true middle schooler, I've got squash in a Coke bottle. They don't have squash in. I don't know if you know what I mean by squash, actually. I don't know where you all are. They don't have squash really here. They have they only have it for a like yogurty drink, and it's not great. And I think the best thing about squash in the UK is that like Robinson's, at least, and most of the store brands, are a little bit sour, and I need the sour. I don't want just like cloyingly sweet all the time, otherwise I would just drink Coke. Oh yeah, Laura, fake British girl. Big skirts are your thing, eh? We're not having panniers. Yeah, I'm in the drink. Yeah. It's just Mum sends these. She doesn't send, like, she's started sending me more stuff often, but yeah, these are so good to send. Like 20 drinks, maybe 10. I don't saft. Oh, like saft means juice in German, doesn't it? That's interesting. From a linguistic perspective. What about bum pads or bum rolls? Not for a pencil skirt. So Laura, a certain doll artist, might be making a certain doll costumier a doll. If that doll costumier was receiving a doll, what color eyes would they like on the doll? Because they won't be changeable. And they could be, actually, if they did inset eyes with a way to access a head. That's a possibility. I can't remember what I was talking. I find it very hard to follow what I am saying myself. Like, I was watching the videos back and I'm like quite coherent, but while I'm doing it, like doing the live streams, I'm like, what's going on? That looks a lot like a cockroach. So, story time from Lee. Today I started making dinner. The end. No, that was so funny. So today, when I was making dinner, boiled the kettle because I was just going to do pasta. I really wanted to eat out because I just can't be bothered to do anything. I wanted to eat out. Green. Okay, what kind of green? Like yellowy green? Thank you. Yellowy green or bluey green? Yeah, so I didn't want to I'm delirious. So I didn't want to cook, but then I was like, you are broke. The stuff that you would rather spend your money on, stay inside, cook some flipping dinner. So boiled the kettle because I was just going to do pasta. Not that I wanted pasta, it's like basically the only thing I have in the house. And as I poured the water into the boiled water from the kettle into the saucepan, some like big pieces of brown stuff floated to the top, and because like the inside of the pan was black, I think a cockroach had gotten into that and just died. So I got takeout. Blurry green, bluey green. Okay, got it. Any preference? I was thinking about doing, well, this doll artist was thinking about doing just quite just pale, like, because you know I like pale, and then trying to go natural humanish, a bit like my mermaid. Would the doll costumer like freckles? It wasn't in the kettle, right? Oh god, I didn't think about that. Could have been in the kettle. No, I think the kettle, like, it's got a locky lid. I think the kettle was right. It was probably in the saucepan. There's so many roaches in my face. This is like, I'm so desensitized to it at this point. Yes to freckles. Okay, because I am aware that that costumier does things that would want historically. Okay, so this is I'm just going for an A-line skirt right now. The costumier am I asleep? Am I awake? Yeah, I love freckles. Oh, I keep watching is it Robert Walsh on YouTube, and he talks about Instagram, TikTok, Instagram, one of the two, beauty trends, and there's all these girls that are so beautiful with these gorgeous freckles, and then they just put loads of foundation over it, and all the freckles are gone. And it makes me sad. So we need a closure here. And this is on the fold, so no seam allowance here, and then seam allowance. Ta-da! That is your A-line skirt pattern, but I don't think it's big enough. It looks like it's going to be a very tight A-line. I wish I had freckles. Yes, so do I. I really wish I had freckles. I remember a guy at uni that I met in that would need more on it for a closure actually. The guy I met at a uni party, like one of the club nights. I was dressed as a lumberjack, a fake British girl. He might have been there, I'm not sure. And I'd drawn freckles on my face to look all cowgirlish. And I'm pretty sure he only fancied me because of the freckles, because the next time I saw him, he was like, "You don't have freckles?" I was like, "No, I did it with makeup." Oh, I was going to say, I thought you were probably there. Okay, so I'm going to do slash and spread, which we did in a previous live stream. So I'm going to cut all the way up to, I'm going to take that seam allowance off. I'm going to cut up to that line, but not through it. So it's just like barely hanging on. Oh, he was really hot as well. Dagnabbit. He was really hot, and he was like 6 inches taller than me, which is for anybody in the chat who didn't go to uni with me. I'm 6'1" on a good day. Yeah, freckles is so beautiful. You can get tattooed freckles, to be fair. I feel like that's excessive. don't know. I'm just going to stick this down because it's a bit easier. It does make the waist a bit more dramatic, but it should still fit. It's just a doll. We'll add a bit of extra leeway in the back. This is for your doll, Katie. For that underskirt that I'm going to put the lace on, and I bought the lace and I've put it somewhere safe. By safe, read, I can't remember where I put it, so I have to hunt. It's pretty easy to do skirts with only one seam. Like there was somebody contacted me for a commission. It didn't happen in the end, which is kind of sad because it was kind of a cool idea, but it was a portrait doll, and I haven't done like proper portrait dolls before. I want to try. Who did I want to do? I want to try, but I think it'd be very, very difficult. But the skirt of the dress he decided to go with had like a double circle skirt. So a circle skirt, of course, being made of a circle of fabric. With a double circle skirt, you'd cut the two pieces and then sew them together so that it's like a lot of fabric. I think I might do one because they are really, really beautiful. I don't know how it would hang on a doll because there's not enough weight of the fabric to pull it down really. But yeah, that would have to have two seams, just because I don't understand how the physics would work otherwise. And one is 8 centimeters and the other is 8.5. Bad times. But yeah, I'm just gonna freehand it. I do have I think I have a French curve somewhere. You know, the really weird loopy rulers. I have one of those somewhere, I think, but I've never used it on a doll just because I think the proportions are a bit weird. So Katie's doll again. We're just gonna, I want the underskirt to be just a little, just exact. You know, I'm going to do it exactly the same length because then the lace will be just showing underneath. And when we try it on, if it's not perfectly showing the lace the way we want to, we don't have to put it at the waistline. We can add another waistband and put it a bit lower so we can manipulate this. I'm actually not going to add, I'm not going to hem this. I'm going to glue this because then we're sewing the lace. Oh my goodness, words are hard. Words are hard. So this will be on the folds. This one, again, I'm not going to add hem allowance because it's underwear. Do you ever plan on publishing your patterns? I would like to. I need to learn how to do Illustrator, and I feel like I need more than half a ruler to be able to do Illustrator. So yeah, I definitely do plan to, because I did these avocado. Ow, she says hi and then I hit my head on the ring lamp. Yeah, now I can't remember what I was talking about. Yeah, I find making the patterns quite straightforward, but I do understand that other people don't, and I want everybody to have access to easy-ish to use patterns. So that's it. That's the pattern. I think it's easy, but like it's taken time to get here, and I've put a lot of hours in, to be fair. So a lot of failures. I don't mind failing when, like, something like this, you do learn so much from your failures. That actually sewing the dress, the gold dress, was getting a little bit frustrating because I just couldn't figure out how to improve, how to fix the issues I was having. What else did I need to do? But yeah, this one, I really want to make this pattern available because it's so simple. I think, but it's simple to make as well. So I'm going to show you how to make this kind of skirt, because it's very, very easy, or at least the pattern anyway. I mean, making the skirt's easy too. Plink down. Focus, camera. One of the historical costumers sews tiny weights into the seams of her dresses to get them to fall how she wants them. And I've been thinking about using tiny beans to give it a little weight. That's a really, really good idea. Oh. Yeah, come here then. Yeah. I just bought some magnets and I've put them somewhere safe. And I bought those magnets because I put the magnets before that somewhere safe. This is getting... Do you see a pattern? A pattern emerging. Okay, so we're just gonna take the waistband. Oh wait, where did I put? There it is. Okay, so I put this pattern somewhere safe, but it's okay. I keep doing this, but because I cut it out in one piece, I can draw it the piece I need. See, I'm smart, but this has got a seam allowance, so I need to remember that. But I use no seam allowance here. We're gonna logic this backwards. So there we go. That's the waistband. So this is only half the waistband. So we're gonna get the full waistband. Gonna use green because then it's easier to see. So I'm gonna fold it in half because this is cut on the fold, remember? So this is the same theory that I did the gold dress with. I don't know if I logicked because I really want to give credit where credit is due. I don't know if I logicked this out of my brain or if someone taught me, and that's true. That's true for quite a lot of things. So I'm going to make this triple the size. So what I'm going to do is just literally draw 3 pieces. So it needs to be gathered down to 1/3 of the skirt size. Like, if you all do find my videos helpful, I'd be mega, mega, mega grateful if you can like point people this way. Like, if they don't like my content, then that's fine. But like the exposure really does mean a lot. So I'm gonna figure out the length. So for example, if we were gonna make a let's just make the whole pattern. Make a rockabilly dress. So this is going to be like a poodle skirt. I think is actually a brain is buffering. Oh my gosh, a rockabilly skirt is like 3/4 circle skirt. I think historical sewer in the chat. Do you know? Somewhere safe is a lie. Safe places are black holes. Yes, is true. So from her belly button down to her knee is 7 centimeters. So we're going to go 7 centimeters. I'm just going to put some marks. And we're going to freehand this curve. Fake British girl, are you still planning to do YouTube videos? Did I just change that? Nope, we're good. Is that to the rockabilly or to the videos? I don't know. Okay, and then I'm going to freehand and try and connect these dots. Ta-da! Skirt pattern. Just going to add the seam allowance. I always add double at the back because I'm not very good at closures. So I'm going to add it on both sides. So you try and start your gathering here and end it here so that you have these like a centimetre on either side to faff around with when you're trying to get the closure in. Ta-da! Finished. Okay, so with this dress, what it then is, it's just one piece around here. So literally I made the masking tape pattern there, and then I masking taped over her boobs and then made it a little bit bigger, I think. Or no, I cut the pattern to as if it was a dart, but then rather than putting the dart in, I gathered along here. So this is, you can see the gathering thread still from where I gathered. Yeah, this was just a mock-up, but I just loved how it was only I do mock-ups in random fabric, like I did the gold dress mock-up was in dinosaur fabric, because it just makes me happy. And it is a little bit more expensive than using just plain fabric, but I bought that fabric to do masks with, and so I had all the offcuts. It's mostly embroidery, lol. Is embroidery fun to watch? And no idea about the rockabilly skirt, I'm afraid. Too modern for me. Yeah, a couple of centuries too modern, huh? I don't know. People in the chat, do you want to watch embroidery? I feel like a time lapse of embroidery would be good. I think I didn't film mine because that's a nightmare. I don't know how you managed to film yours. Didn't film mine on the rat doll. I think people are interested, you know. It's like a visual ASMR thing. Like I used to watch is it Earth to Isla. She's a doll artist, but she does figurines. And like when I started, oh god, when I started doing dolls, like I changed how I felt. I changed the way I felt about figurines changed a little bit. I do still love figurines, but they're not like the art that I want to create. So I do feel about them. Angie says yes. Camilla, I watch it. I only need some more practice. I watch it. There you go. 100% of people surveyed said yes, and the people that said no don't count because they didn't say it. Like, although there are 11 people here, 3 people answered. That's a good average. I think I showed you how to do the top of the gold dress. I'm pretty sure. No, I didn't. Right. Okay. Let's just do all the patterns while we're here. Yeah, Laura. So I think buffering. I think what we think of as embroidery is what Americans call needlepoint, because somebody was telling me that they do embroidery and they were like, and then they were talking about cross stitch, and I was like, cross stitch isn't embroidery. Apparently it is. I was like, wait, who was I talking to about that? I was so mind blown, because like embroidery is the thing. Yeah, there you go. You've got to make YouTube videos. Embroidery is the thing, like what I think of as embroidery is satin stitch, basically. Lots and lots of satin stitch. But apparently that's called needlepoint. Okay, so I'm only going to do half because we can just copy it. I don't know why, but this masking tape is more like paper, and this masking tape is more like plasticky. You filmed it though anyway, didn't you? So you have the footage. Seems like to be fair, the editing is the bit that takes part. Yes, my Victorian embroidery book has lots of cross stitch, and I was like, don't want this. Yep. I like cross stitch, but I used to like doing it, but I don't think to me it's not embroidery. Yo, so I keep getting these really random cuts on this pad of this finger. So I had one here, and then yesterday I noticed one here, and they look like they're connected, but they're not. And I have no idea how I got them. And they're stingy, and they look like paper cuts, but they can't be paper cuts because paper cuts feel like you've chopped your hand off when you've done them. So you notice when you've done them, but I'm noticing like hours and hours later. You used to do it in Korea? I didn't know that. Cross stitch is so expensive here. My mum's got some really cool cross stitches that she did years and years ago. She's got an Elizabeth I and a Henry VIII, and they're really intricate and really ornate. I think there's even beading on them as well, which I like the combination. Really pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a high neckline because I'll show you how we can manipulate this pattern once it's off the doll, and then down the midline. I'm going to take it all the way down to her hips, but I'm also going to draw in her waist, like her inverted commas natural waist. Well, I thought I was only going to be here an hour, and we're already over an hour. The time does go quick, you know. I don't know about for you, but it does just go. Avocado, I love you. Well, you love me too. She gave me a blink. She never gives me a blink. She normally just looks at me like I'm her servant. Oh no, she gave me a blink. That might mean I'm getting a bug. Getting a bug for us and a love you present. I don't know if it was an I love you present or if she just found it, but I used to have, I don't know if you've been following, I forgot, need to draw the shoulder seam here. I used to sit on a low table on the floor and do dolls, but then after my turtle tank accidentally drained on the floor, I upgraded to a higher desk, and by upgraded I mean I bought 2 bookshelves and put a big plank of wood on top. We're starving artists, yo. And but before, when I still had the low desk, so I'm not going to cut this waistline for now, but I'm going to cut the other lines. When I was still on the low desk, I was like sat on my sofa, and Avocado was scrabbling around underneath my desk, and I'm like, what are you doing? But I just thought she was playing because like there's cat toys everywhere, right? And then she, like 10 minutes later, she came out from under the table with a tiny little mouse in her mouth. I was like, so either she'd brought it in or she'd found it. But then so I had to catch this mouse to try and to then take it outside. Poor mouse. So tiny. I'm not like freaked out by bugs unless they catch me unawares, bugs or like mice or anything. There's like ferrets that are running around outside near my apartment as well, and I live like in like proper suburban Japan, like next to the bullet track. It's like this ain't wild ferret land, yo. So arm's eye, you can kind of do whatever you want with it. Recently I've been adding a little bit of extra space because what I keep doing is not having enough for this part of the arm. So it's all well and good making it a piece of clothing that fits like this, but as soon as you do that to the arm, you do need a little bit more space. So I'm just adding a little bit extra. So yes, my apartment is disgusting and old and falling to pieces, and I can't wait to get out. It's the glamorous life we lead. Okay, I'm going to cut this into 2 pieces. I don't know why there is not a high point for her bust, but there usually is, which I usually put a dart in for, so put dart. Oh, Singapore, we have wild otters. Wow. Just gonna put that dart in there. Wild otters. I think like in the UK we have some. Well, there's no. Why does it not want a dart? Weird. Okay. Whatever. I'm gonna cut this off for now. So like if you wanted to make a top in woven, you go, hi Latias, how you doing? You've got that extra. We don't need it because we're theoretically making the top for the dress, so we need it to her waist. So this this is going to be almost impossible to hem. The way I would do it would be with a facing like we did for the gold dress. You can put the neckline wherever you want, but a simple neckline on this scale is probably easier. Would it be? It'd be good. Thank you. How are you today? I'm getting sleepy, Latias, but I'm good. It's like 2:45. Late. I think I have done a video on bodices as well. Did I do one on sleeves? I think so. I tend to with a sleeve, I'll measure the so I'll put the shoulder back together. You can kind of just draw this semicircle, and basically you've got your sleeve pattern. That's all really you need. Like I've seen doll artists before drawing like with human sleeves, they're this shape, and so what this part here is doing is creating room for you to be able to lift your arms above like shoulder height without your top going over your head. So late. Yeah, it's kind of late, huh? So from Cleo, I think it's Cleo. Is it Nephra? Did we do it? Is it? Excuse me. Is this Cleo or Nephra? Don't know. She's not getting a reroute. She is getting a new face because this she's got a. Can you see it? She's got a green streak, which is perfect for what I have planned for her. Cleo, it's Cleo. Okay. I'm actually really like I'm not. Obviously, I'm a Monster High fan from a customizer's perspective, but I've got biro all over her. But I never had the dolls when I was younger because they were way after I was a child doll fan. I had Barbie and Cindy, but I think that was it. We didn't like. I feel like when I was a kid, I'm just using a bit of isopropyl alcohol because I've got biro all over Cleo, and I think that should take it off if I'm quick. Yeah, it's taken off. That's fine. I always I always get absolutely covered in whatever I'm doing artistically, and I did exactly the same thing when I was a kid, like, or like, I can't use anything without getting covered in it. I was extra special. Okay, so wrist. So this will be a full length, just full length sleeve. I'm going to try and find the middle. This for me tends to be 3.2, but we should check Cleo's arm measurements really. Just double check. Meow, come here then. Come on then. Come on then. She's like, I don't want you, I want tuna. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, meow, come here then. Come here. And we're gonna, so if this is woven, you need to be able to get over the widest parts of her body. So this being wider than her wrist, I'm gonna check around there, and then eyeball, cause it's probably a bit too high, but it's okay. You can taper this. I don't think, did I do a video on sleeves? I feel like a video on sleeves would be really helpful. Ladies, Laura. I never owned any Monster High dolls before this either. I mostly learned the names as such from watching others. Yeah, same. Or a well, that's completely wonky bad times. Come here then. Come here. Come on then. Come on. Oh, she's so special. She jumped on my lap and like headbutted the edge of the table. You're gonna shut. There you go. Oh, I love her so much. I do. I love you. Hang on. Meow. She's like, I came up here and you don't love me. Thank you, Camilla. She's so lovely. I love her so much. Okay, so this will roughly make a very fitted sleeve. So I'm just, if the elbow is roughly there, you can add volume and make it flared doing this shape. You can do totally straight. Obviously, you can cut it off. What do you call it? Puffball. You can either keep this the same and then make this wider and then gather it down back into the same shape. Definitely wood. Sewing sleeves scares me. Oh, do you know what? I was okay on sleeves until I was trying to put those sleeves into that gold dress, and I just was that gold dress. It was a challenge for sure. I don't know. I don't know if I showed, but when I put the sleeves in, I sew the shoulder seam first, and then I'll sew here, right sides together, of course, and then I'll sew all the way around to here, come back, sew all the way around to here, and then sew down the length of both. Wow, this is a very strange document diagram. Nice one, Lee. Yeah, so I think that's it. I made lots of patterns, lots that I don't need, 3 that I do need. I hope it was helpful for you as well. I'll tomorrow, what day is it tomorrow? Friday. Tomorrow I'll have a look at Illustrator, and then I'll try and get some patterns online. That was one thing I was always thinking about with Patreon as well. I think if I sold my patterns, I wouldn't want to do them for like too expensive. And then I think it would be nice to include a pattern on Patreon once a month, you know. Figure it out. Latius. Hi, Katie. She says she's ignoring you like a real cat. You'll have to let me know on Insta. I'll have to ask on Insta what kind of patterns you'd be interested in. That might be a cool thing to do, like do pattern designing, and then I can have a go at making a pattern. I can do the live stream of showing you how I make the pattern as well, and then we can do mock-ups and stuff. I think that would be useful. So thank you very much, Lee, for hanging out with me today. It's 2 to 3 in the morning. Sorry it wasn't properly riveting. I hope so. Those Derwent ink pens should be arriving tomorrow. But if I'm doing Illustrator, we'll figure it out. I might pop on tomorrow. Oh, Sedona, hi. I didn't realize that was you. Sorry, I was kind of blank. My brain's not working. Oh my gosh. Really not got it all together today. Thank you much, Lee Holly. Thank you everybody for coming and hanging out. Sorry, it was only maybe an hour is a good amount of time. I'm not really sure. I hope you learned some stuff. I'll try and add some timestamps in the description as well. But I shall see you on the next one. Bye. 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 Bye.